My name is Yolanda Turner. I'm 34, a senior cybersecurity specialist with the FBI. On paper, my life looks impressive: classified work, national security, high stakes. But none of that means anything when I'm sitting at my parents' dining table, pretending I don't feel like an outsider in my own family. Sunday dinners have always been an obligation, not a choice. My mother's roast, my father's quiet judgment, my siblings' endless bragging. I endure it all in silence. But this Sunday was different. This was the day my family accidentally committed a federal crime that IT started innocently enough. My mom was passing the potatoes when she said, "Who needs this worthless laptop? Sold it for $200. She waved the cash like a trophy. Everyone laughed. Everyone except me. My blood ran cold. That worthless laptop was an FBI device containing $10 million in marked federal funds. Bait in a covert operation targeting one of the most dangerous cybercrime groups in the world. I didn't even breathe. I just stared at her, my badge heavy in my pocket. "Mom," I said quietly, "what laptop are you talking about?" She looked at me like I was being dramatic. "The old one you left here months ago. It wouldn't even turn on. Just some weird screen with code. I sold it to Karen's nephew. He's good with computers." The words hit like a sledgehammer. "You sold it." My voice cracked. "It was broken," she said defensively. "You left it here forever." That laptop wasn't broken. It was part of a live sting operation. Inside it was military-grade encryption, tracking software, and access credentials for the honeypot we'd built to catch the Black River Syndicate, a hacking group that had been bleeding federal systems dry for years. My heart was pounding. "Who exactly did you sell it to?" I asked. "Karen's nephew," Mom repeated. "He paid cash." "Why? What's the big deal?" I stood up. "The big deal is that you just sold government property. That device contained classified data." My father looked up from his plate, irritated. "Oh, come on, Yolanda. It's just a computer." "No," I said. "It's evidence in an active federal investigation." They all stared at me like I'd lost my mind. Aaron, my brother, smirked. "Relax. It's not like you're in a spy movie." Jasmine, my sister, folded her arms. "So what happens now? The FBI's gonna raid Mom's house over a laptop?" "Yes," I said flatly. And as if on cue, the siren started in the distance. Minutes later, black SUVs filled the street. Tactical agents surrounded the house. My neighbors peeked through their blinds as my quiet suburban childhood home turned into a federal crime scene. I called my supervisor. "Sir, we have a Category 1 breach," I said. "The Black River honeypot has been compromised. My family sold the control laptop." There was silence. Then his voice, sharp and cold. "How long ago?" 24 hours. "Stay put. We're sending a team." When I went back inside, the laughter was gone. My parents looked pale. My mom's hands trembled. "Yolanda, what's happening?" she whispered that I didn't answer. The doorbell rang. I opened it to find Special Agent Ramirez, my supervisor, flanked by 6 agents. Within minutes, our dining room was transformed into a command center. Laptops on the sideboard. Radios crackling. My family being questioned in the living room while the roast went cold on the table. "Mrs. Turner," Ramirez said gently, "please tell us about the sale." Mom recounted everything. The buyer had asked about electronics. Asked if anyone in the house worked with technology. Paid cash. Never bargained. At my stomach twisted. It wasn't random. They'd been watching us. Watching me. I turned to Ramirez. "They targeted my family to get the laptop." He nodded grimly. "That's what it looks like." I ordered a perimeter sweep. Tactical units moved through the neighborhood. The tech team scanned for signals. Minutes later, one of them called out, "We've got activity 2 blocks north. Someone's trying to brute force the encryption." I rushed to the monitor. Streams of code flashed across the screen. "That's it," I said. "That's our laptop." "They know what they're doing," Agent Wu muttered beside me. "Black River," I said. "It's them." Ramirez leaned over my shoulder. "Target house registered to a shell company. We've linked it to previous Black River operations." So this was it. The moment everything I'd spent years preparing for collided with the people I was trying to protect. My family hadn't just made a mistake. They'd been used. "How long have you been bringing that laptop here?" Ramirez asked quietly. 3 months, I admitted. Standard off-site monitoring protocol. He frowned. Then they've been watching your family for at least that long. Outside, tactical teams surrounded the suspect house. The neighborhood was lit up with flashing lights and silent motion. I could hear my mother crying softly in the next room. Encryption's failing on sectors 3 through 7, Wu shouted suddenly. Those were the tracking sectors for the $10 million. If Black River cracked them, the money would vanish, and so would any chance of finding them again. Go, I said. Green light tactical. Move now. Ramirez relayed the command. Within moments, agents breached the target house. Gunfire echoed down the street. My parents clung to each other in the living room. Terrified that I watched the feed from the drone camera. The image shaking, night vision cutting through the chaos. Target neutralized. Came the voice through the radio. We have the laptop. I exhaled for the first time in what felt like hours. Ramirez turned to me. You saved the operation, he said quietly. I looked at my family through the glass door. My mother sobbing, my father staring blankly at the floor, my siblings pale and silent. At what cost? I whispered later that night. After the agents cleared out and the house was silent again, my mother approached me in the wreckage of the dining room. I didn't know, she said, her voice trembling. I just thought it was old junk. I know, I said. But sometimes, ignorance is the most dangerous thing in the world. She nodded, tears streaming down her face. The next morning when I returned to Quantico, Director Keller told me the operation was a success. Black River had been crippled. Millions recovered. My name would be mentioned in the report, but classified, of course. No one outside the bureau would ever know that I went home that night to a text from my mother. It said, "We're proud of you." I stared at the screen for a long time before typing back. I wish it didn't take a federal investigation for you to believe that. And then I put my phone face down and finally let myself cry.